Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today in our second series of educational webcasts on mobility. So we're going to cover some basics on mobile security. And let's start off with why mobile? What's happening? So here's a statistics from IDC, a leading research firm for IT. In 2014, more than 1 billion smartphones shipped worldwide and 230 million tablets. So iPads and Samsung and so forth. But even though that's a lot of devices, more telling is that we've reached a tipping point between desktop and mobile users worldwide, and that tipping point was reached last year in 2014. But I think the point is that those numbers of devices shipped include consumer and enterprise or business use. And the point that we're making is that enterprise mobility is a more complex undertaking for you than simple consumer apps. It's more complex, there's more at stake, and this is the new mobile. Smartphones and tablets and even wearables are coming on the scene in the enterprise, not laptops. So we're looking at integration with existing systems that tie into the trillions of dollars that have been made in IT. Are all consumer devices suitable for enterprise needs? In some cases, the answer is no. So security is complex and it's different for mobility in the enterprise, along with your IT policies. So when you look at all this, you're not alone. Maybe you feel a little overwhelmed by the new mobile. I can tell you, living this ourselves, there's a lot to keep track of. It is a new model that's being brought to us by this tipping point that's reached between desktop and mobility. So our job today is to provide information that can help you start to understand what's different about some of the elements of mobile security as well as device management in the enterprise. So let's talk about firewalls, VPN, and mobile device management that's typically abbreviated as MDM, and Chuck Bridgman is going to take us through different VPNs that are available.
Hey, thank you, Matthew. And this is an overview. You know, we've got 30 minutes. We're going to be pretty quick. So, and we will record this for handing out afterwards. So, to start off here with VPNs, we've got two groups of VPNs that generally categorize the different types. Legacy, SSL VPN, and this is typically what people see with older generation laptops with air cards and Citrix type of connections. Worked very well for a first entry point. And then now what we have is mobile VPN. Very different. Although it's a virtual private network, it's really a different type of platform. And this is a type of VPN that will show that's running on Windows, or not Windows, excuse me, iPhones, iPads, Android devices. And it really operates differently than the Windows VPN of old, and we're going to demonstrate some of that. So specifically about mobile VPN, once again, it's a secure connectivity, and a big key there is that persistence. What's really nice about mobile VPN technology, as we move from cell tower to network to wireless and so forth, we don't become disconnected. That persistence is very key into allowing a seamless, easy-to-use network or platform for our end users on our mobile devices. So let's keep moving on here, and we're going to show how this is different, how that persistence keeps working, where traditional VPNs will lose applications, especially if it's web-based, and even make you log back in. So we like this mobile VPN for its persistence, obviously its security, but also the possibility of being a quicker network and operating lower costs because we're more efficient with our data transmission. So mobile VPN, what we're going to focus on here, because we're into the new mobile, Androids, iPhones, iOS, and two different VPNs, commercial, which we probably, a lot of examples we've heard of, the ones that come to the top, Cisco AnyConnect, Sonic Wall, NetMotion. This is one option you have for a mobile VPN. As you take your mobile devices out and want to secure them with mobile VPN, we can go commercial. Well supported, good security, good speed, but it's a pay option, so it's something we got to pay for. Another option we have is open source. A lot of times this is free. And this open source is called OpenVPN. A lot of times you'll see OpenVPN. That is the platform. That's the open source mobile VPN. Now, you'll have to get a client with that OpenVPN. And we'll have some examples of those. I guess there's some right over there on the right side. OpenVPN for iOS, OpenVPN for Android. They utilize this OpenVPN source. Now, yeah, it's low cost, it's free, it's well supported, has good security, but some of the drawbacks are, once again, you're not paying somebody for a nice canned production off the shelf. There's some complexity for installation and administration that's going to fall on you if you want to go open source. Okay, so let's do a demo. And the first demo we're going to show is this new mobile VPN running in that persistent network and showing how it works when it becomes disconnected and what the load is on the end user when that happens. So I'm going to pop out here and make this easy, efficient, is we are going to bring up a YouTube video. So we'll expand this. And what we're showing here is an iPhone, and this iPhone is running on a VPN. It's Sonic Wall. And here's the Sonic Wall running. And this iPhone is just on a cell network. We're not on a Wi-Fi. And we're going to go into an application. This happens to be freelance mobile for Cityworks, but it's a native application. Doesn't matter whether we're running Cityworks mobile or eBay or whatever. It's a mobile application running on a cell network with a VPN network. So we're showing a work order here. We're showing how we're modifying it, making changes. And what we're going to do here is we're going to turn off the cell network. Let's go into the settings of the cell phone, iPhone, and say, hey, let's turn off our cell data. Look up on the top. I've got voice, but I don't have data. Let's go back to our application. Okay? We can still work in the application. We haven't bombed out. We've lost our data connection. Let's take a photo. Let's add it to the work order. There it is. It's on the bottom. We can keep working in this work order. We can bring up pull downs, change fields, keep working, add labor, equipment, material, all that great stuff. But if I try to save, let's hit the bottom and hit the save button again. I'm not going to be able to save it because I don't have a cell data connection. Now, do I lose my data? Do I bomb out of the application? No. So there I tried to save it again. I don't lose my work. Let's go back in and turn on the cell network. And up on the top, you can see I got my LTE. Let's go back into the app. Now that I've got my cell data connection back, my data connection, you can see I got my VPN up running on the top. I didn't have to log back in. It just came in. I hit save. I just hit save, and I just saved that work order. So that's almost transparent to the end user. The only time he knew I didn't have cell data is when he tried to save it. He didn't have to log in. He didn't lose data. He didn't have to get in and out of the app. So really, that's that persistence and ease of use for our end users with this VPN. Very nice. Okay, let's go to our next demo. Okay, so now we're going to show that same scenario with a Windows laptop running the same, what were we, Sonic Wall, Matthew? Sonic Wall VPN. So we're staring at a little small. Let's see if we can increase our resolution here a little. Get a little higher def. There we go. Okay, let's start going again. Okay, a little tough to see, but we're running a Windows laptop, pen-based Windows laptop. We're just showing here that we're going to log into the VPN. Okay, so we got a cell network going here with the air card or Wi-Fi. Doesn't really matter. We got cell data. Okay, so we're logging into our Sonic network or Sonic Wall. There we go, and we've got our VPN running. We're connected. Well, let's bring up our Cityworks web server application. Okay, let's refresh it. We've got our VPN going. We've got our data network going. And this should look familiar to everyone. It's just standard Cityworks on a web browser. We'll go to our inbox here. Sorry, we truncated the screen a little bit. We'll go into a work order. Just kind of showing you that it's operational. It's what everybody knows and understands. We jumped into a work order. We can start modifying it. But let's go in and pretend we lost data connection on our air card. Let's disconnect our cell, our network. There we go. We'll disable it. Let's see what happens to our application. Right away, our VPN comes up and says, hey, we're disconnected. Let's go into our web application that we had a work order up. Let's touch it, and right away we lose the page. That's gone. Our settings are gone. Our things we had modified for that work order are gone. Let's go ahead and say we've come back into the cell data. So our network's back on. Let's turn on our air card, and we've got it back up. So we just lost data connection, and now we came back into data connection. Well, what's the next thing I can do? Can I go into my web app? No, I've got to sign back into my VPN. So let's connect back to our VPN. We'll log in, get our VPN back online, and go back into our application. So there's our VPNs back. after we had to log in. So this is kind of, a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth. We didn't type it in correctly. Let's try to type it in better this time. So this is where people get a bad taste in their mouth with VPN out in a mobile device. They're running a Windows. And when you lose data connection, I've got to log back in. I lose my web application. I've got to start over there. I've got really 2 logins to go with. So here I am. I've got my VPN back up. I go into my web application, and I'm even out of that work order. I got to find that work order again and start all over. So very different operations between a Windows laptop VPN and a mobile iOS or Android VPN. One's very easy on the end user, and one's very disruptive. So let's jump back into our presentation here, now that we've done our demo. Yep, we jumped. Yeah. Okay. Jump back to the start of this. Let's just flip through. So let's move on to our next one. We've talked about VPN. Now let's go on to the other half of that. You know, with VPN, I've secured my server. Everything's internal network. I don't have to open ports. I don't have to hide anything. I can secure stuff with a VPN and leave everything internal. It makes actually life pretty easy. I'm not in that old security by obscurity hiding things, reverse proxy. That secures my servers. What is going to secure my device? You know, the other half of the equation is what's going to make my device safe from the user doing something inappropriate with it, going to a bad website, God forbid, or even someone stealing it and getting off my information. This is where mobile device management, MDM, comes in. I think it's mobile device magic, and we'll show you here in a moment. So MDM, the other half of the equation, allows you to do some really amazing stuff remotely, really gives you control of that mobile device. Restrictions and policies. Let's go a little deeper into this MDM. So what can MDM do? Here's some examples. Somebody loses their mobile device, their iPad, their Android phone. I can lock it and wipe it. Or maybe somebody didn't steal it. I can find it on a Google map. I can just remote locate it and find out where they dropped it out of the truck. I can manage the account. I can make restrictions, stop somebody from downloading Angry Birds. And application management, maybe I don't want somebody going to collect the latest update of my Cityworks application. I don't want them to update. I got to update my server first. So don't let that happen automatically. So a lot of stuff we can do with MDM, and we're going to demonstrate in a moment. Here's some options. Cloud and premise. Cloud is a lot of times a low-cost, quick way to get up. Meraki by Cisco is a free one, and there's a couple other ones there. I know Mass 386 is getting some shelf space as people use it. Other ones we hear of are Mobile Iron, Good, BlackBerry Bez, the original. So you've got some options with this also. These are different MDM options. And the one we're going to demonstrate here is Meraki by Cisco. It's, believe it or not, free. So let's demonstrate Meraki MDM. We'll show you some stuff that an MDM can do here. Once again, I'm going to turn off the application or the slideshow and bring up a web browser. And we can see this is the Meraki software. It's web-based. And this is what the system administrator goes in and manages the devices. So on this Meraki administration software, I've got 2 iPhones that I'm controlling. You know, what are some of the things I can do here? Hey, we can map where these things are. Where are these iPhones? Showing you where they are. How about that? I can even see where they've been. What have they been doing? I can see events. What software do they have on them? I can see what software they have on them. I can work with them individually. I can go to this phone and see how much data's left. Where's the battery? Just about everything I can think of managing this, I can do it remotely. And it's instant. I mean, let's come in here and show you the apps. So what apps am I controlling? I can come in here and say, hey, Angry Birds, I only want to have, push out the new release when I want to. I want to remove it. So I can work with device applications independently. I can also work with just applications in general. So what's one of the things people always want to tell me? Well, they don't want people downloading Angry Birds. I want to set up my iPad and have nobody mess with it. I don't want them downloading anything. I don't want them going to YouTube. Well, let's go ahead and show how that works. And Matthew, I'm going to ask you if you could help here. We're going to broadcast a video here, and we're going to show. Yeah, keep that running. We're going to show an iPad here, and we're going to turn off the application. So we've got a video going here. You might want to make that video a little bigger if you can. Well, that won't be the whole thing. Maybe make it smaller. Leave it run up in the corner. Okay, so we're going to let that video just run up in the corner. Because I want to see my screen at the same time. Here's how this magic's going to happen. Matthew, you're going to hold this, if you can, in front of the camera. You got to do the mirror thing here. It's right there.
Right there.
Yeah, so just back a little. And you can see a little tough, but we've got, right here in the middle, we got applications that we can show them. Okay? No. Yeah, just back right there. That's good. Okay. So we've got that application right there. Apps that everybody knows, the iTunes Store. Here's what we're going to do in Meraki. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to stop allowing people to install software on my two iPhones. So let's go ahead and save that change. And now, let's watch that. I'm going to move back just a little. I'm going to, oops, we lost the video there. Okay? No. I think it's just here. So now what we're showing is that application's gone. That application icon is gone, just like that. I mean, it completely removed. And if I allow applications back on and save it, in 15 seconds, that application's going to pop back up. That iTunes Store will pop back up on this iPhone. So we really have instant control over these devices. Really quick and easy to use. And this is something we set up here in-house in, half an hour. We added these phones to this cloud Meraki service. Let's see if we can go over one and then back. And there it is. It popped back up. Yeah. So we're done with that. I hope everybody had that. We're also recording this so you see this better. Thanks, Matthew.
All right.
So, only can we do all this stuff, this Wi-Fi VPN, I want to add devices, configure it, hide stuff, don't let people make long-distance calls, just really everything with this MDM, plus secure it in case it does get lost or stolen by wiping it. So that's the other half of the equation, is MDM. So we've got VPN to protect our servers, and we've got MDM to protect our mobile devices. I'm going to go ahead and kill our video there, and I'm going to jump back into finish up this presentation. We muted everybody because we have an open mic, but what we're going to do is, can I go from back? No, I got to go all the way forward. Let's go ahead and finish up this presentation and take questions. So we demoed the device management, mobile device management. And our last slide is here. We're talking about your servers. We're talking about access to your servers. We're going back to not the device, but the server. And you've got two options. Externally expose your servers, Cityworks, ArcGIS, with open ports. Called security by obscurity. This is the old proxy, hide stuff as best you can, hope people don't get in, reverse proxies, DMZs. And what we've been talking about all this afternoon is internalizing, leaving stuff internal with VPNs. It's more secure. It's sometimes faster. It's easier for the end user. It just has so many benefits, and it's not hard to do. Mobile VPN is the easy technology for the administrator and the end user. So let's go ahead and finish up here. We'll go ahead and open up the audio and take any questions we have. So we've got an open mic now, and if anybody has any questions, we'll take them. If anybody chats anything in, Matthew and I will do our best to answer. Well, if nobody has any questions, maybe I do, if people can chat back in. I wonder if anybody can chat back in. Is anybody using MDM or VPN for mobile devices? Well, I know we are here at TDC Group. We use Sonic Wall. We use Sonic Wall for both Windows login and mobile device management. It's the same server, and it runs and is configured for both Windows login and also our mobile devices, our iPads and Androids.
I'm trying to talk.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Chris had any questions? No, I guess we covered everything very thoroughly, Matthew, or if this is so good that the guys don't have questions.
Question that I have, if anyone would chat in their answer or speak over the audio connection, is the difference between the traditional VPN versus VPNs that are being used in the new mobile. Is that Was that new information?
Yeah.
Good, so we had one yes.
Because I can say that for Chuck and I, understanding the differences of traditional VPN that we're used to with laptops out in the field versus the new VPNs that are built to optimize the mobile experience with smartphones and tablets. That was how much easier and more reliable those are for the mobile experience. I think that was really eye-opening for us.
Yeah, it was. You know, all that used to be hidden when we had BlackBerries and the beds, and it was a little bit of a mystery that the beds took care of the VPN and MDM, and that was kind of a mystery to us. And how that happened, we got to do it on our own. But modern, current, off-the-shelf software just makes this really easy and not that expensive. Well, I don't see any other questions. Nobody's chatting in. We'll stay for another 60 seconds, but I think we've accomplished what we wanted to, Matthew. And we appreciate everybody joining in and watching. And we'll put this on a recording and mail it out to everybody so you can pass it along to your friends, colleagues, or just review it for your own information.
All right. Thank you.
If there's nothing else, I appreciate everybody joining us today, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.